Hello, my lovely lager eaters, and welcome to episode 21 of the Lager Than Life podcast. It's your two favourite hosts here, and yeah, bro, should we just
Let's just dive in. Do you know what? I'm not introducing my name. I'm just going straight in.
Man. You know what? You lot should know who we are by now.
Yeah.
It's also in the description. Yeah. We've said it most episodes. It's in the description of our TikTok, our YouTube. Do some of your own research, because we honestly, I've had enough. But yeah, anyways, bro, how do we like to start each episode?
Beer of the week time.
Beer of the week!
So today, Sarav, we've got a Brakspear Oxford Gold.
Wow.
It's 4.6. Nice little classy bottle. So the description for this one is pale gold with citrus aromas and a zesty, fruity finish. The perfect partner for fish dishes, shellfish, chicken, or salads. Nice.
Who
Who decides that?
Because, like, the thing is, right, who, like, you know, like, at a pub, right, when you get a beer, they say, would you like any crisps or would you like any nuts? I don't think they've ever said, would you like a salad on the side of your beer? So that's obviously bullshit. Do you know what I mean? I'm not having...
This implies that they've got some bloke at the Oxford Gold Brewery fucking pairing beer with chicken and shellfish. Fucking, I call bullshit. There's no way he's there with fucking shrimps being like, oh, what a pairing.
Facts. Yeah, not exactly. But for those of you at home, it's actually a really nice bottle.
I've got a really good feeling about this one.
Yeah, me too, actually.
Based off no insight whatsoever, I think it's going to be a good one.
Oxford Gold, double dropping beer since 1970. Sorry, double dropping beer since 1779. Doesn't even rhyme. But yeah. Anyway, let's go, man.
Cheers, mate. To episode 21. Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh, weird after.
Yeah. I prefer
weird aftertaste.
I can tell you that now.
It feels really cold, this one.
Yeah.
I know that's not part of the beer. That's just for like.
Well, we're used to having like lukewarm beers.
I like it. It's got a weird aftertaste.
Doesn't your girlfriend say the same thing about you? Someone called for
unnecessary.
No, actually...
We're only 2 minutes in, Sarah.
I know, mum. I just, you know, sometimes.
No, I rate it.
Yeah.
It just hits too close to home.
Yeah, fair.
Okay, I'm gonna go in. I'm gonna give it a 6.5.
I'm gonna agree with you.
It's all right.
6.5.
It does the job. If I got it, I wouldn't be like, oh, that's a shit beer. Yeah. But I wouldn't be like, oh, that's a really good beer. It's like, it's okay.
I think you overrated last week's beer. You gave it.
I didn't even remember the name of last week's beer.
You gave it a 7.5.
Did I?
That's such a strong score.
Honestly, I think I was in a good mood that day. But today, I'm in a foul mood. I'm giving it a 4.
Yeah, no fair.
Yeah, 6.5.
6.5. I'm happy with that. Cheers, 6.5 on the beer leaderboard. I don't know where that scores, but probably pretty decently.
Probably somewhere. Do you still do the like?
Yeah, it
comes
on the screen. Yeah,
nice, man.
But I don't Instagram post it because I don't think anyone cares.
No one gives a fuck.
I think realistically, when we do get bigger, then I will start. But it's not the most aesthetically pleasing.
Also, I think for the time and the reward you get,
that's what it is, man. That's what it is. One thing I did spend a lot of time on though is, as I'm sure you noticed, I told you I was so happy with it. Our promotion for episode 20,
mate, incredible.
I was so happy.
You've upgraded that.
Yeah. I was proper happy with that.
Has it worked? Have we got more views?
I don't know, but it looks more aesthetically pleasing.
No, I like it. I like the our sort of logo in like horizontal.
Yeah.
That just looked sick.
Yeah.
It looked too clean, bro.
Oh, thank you, bro. I don't know. Maybe I'll Insta post that just so it's like out there a bit more.
Yeah.
But nah, guys, give us any comments. If any of you think you could do a better job as well, like please.
Yeah, please.
It takes so much time. I honestly love your help.
It's actually like running a podcast is just the most time consuming.
Yeah.
Thing,
it's so long. But But you know what?
Also, I got called out the other day. Actually, someone screenshotted. I think it was a couple of episodes ago.
Yeah,
be like, it just screenshotted me and my legs. My legs were out here because this table was really far in, and they were like, "Rory, mate, you're the biggest. What's it called? What's it called when you not mansplaining.
Manspreader.
Manspreading. And I was literally, my legs were literally at like 180 degrees. And now I'm really conscious of it.
Yeah. Just like, oh, nah, bro. You got to be comfortable.
You know this?
Yeah.
Doing the splits.
You got to be comfortable, for sure. But yeah, man. Cool. Should we dive right in?
So, Sarav, mate, you live in the UK. I'm sure you've heard of this.
Yeah, go on.
Hugh Edwards stuff.
So, I know a little bit about it.
Another nonce unlocked.
Yeah, go on. Chat to me.
So yeah, this came out maybe 2 days ago, and the Sun reported a story being like, someone from the BBC has been suspended, who works in broadcast, for sending explicit photos or receiving explicit photos from a minor who was 17 at the time.
Yeah.
And is reportedly spending 35k a month for these photos. Right?
Yeah.
So then the parents came out, the kid came out, and this kid has apparently had a crack cocaine addiction. And this relationship they had with Hugh Edwards was basically funding that addiction. His parents have come out and been like, this has got to stop. And then all the media's come out of that, and they've still actually not named the guy, right? But everyone knows it's Hugh Edwards. Then a picture comes out of Hugh Edwards posing, showing his bare ass. Basically, he'd sent this to this young boy, and then plot twist. Yesterday, the kid comes out, withdraws the statement, and says, "Oh no, it's just my parents. They're trying to get money. I take it back. He's not like this. Hasn't actually happened." So now everyone's like, "What the fuck's going on?" But yeah, man, like, what is it with these broadcast hosts and being nonsense?
I don't know, man. It's disappointing. It's also like the BBC is obviously a government-funded broadcasting channel as well, right?
Do you know what's so weird is watching like the BBC report on a nonce that's literally within their institution. It's so weird, and obviously they've got to be impartial. They have to report on it, but like it's just it must be such a weird thing to report.
So I saw something to say that there was a reason why they didn't announce who it was, and that was because apparently some of the evidence was still a little bit arbitrary.
They can't. I think until the evidence is like literally concrete, they can't come out and report it because the Sun basically don't want to get like sued for defamation.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah. Defamation.
So yeah, it's an interesting one. But
does
like,
the Sun do that all the time? Well, like all these tabloid newspapers love,
but they get like concrete evidence, don't they?
Not always. They get sued all the time for just releasing shit.
Yeah, that's true actually. Yeah,
and just for announcing stuff.
Because you hear like I sometimes read like a shit Daily Mail article, and it'll be like, a source close to them has said this, and it's like, you not just made that up. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, anyone could say that.
Anyone could say that.
Anyone could say that.
And
but
yeah,
I think
say like, oh, they prefer to stay anonymous.
Yeah, I think the Sun gets sued like a lot, but I feel like this level, and this like caliber of someone in the media, they've got to be really careful with it.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll have to see what happens. But yeah, it's just fucking shit.
It's crazy. First Philip Schofield, now this. Like, it's mad. Also, he's got 5 kids and a wife.
That doesn't stop these people,
Dude,
man.
It's
it
mad.
Doesn't
like,
stop these people.
Also, this is what confuses me, right? You work for the BBC, right? Do you not remember what happened with Jimmy Savile, right?
Yeah.
What on earth? What do you think's going to happen? Do you know what I mean? Like, of course you're going to get caught. Like, what's the fucking point? And also, 35k to like just watch porn. just it's all there. It's all free. Just watch porn. Like, why? Like, you're going to get yourself in trouble. Like, just don't be a nonce. It's just simple. It's just so simple. You've got a great job. You're getting paid loads of money. You got like people would kill for your job, right?
Yeah.
And you got to fuck it up and be a nonce.
Yeah. Don't be a nonce. Just watch porn.
Just
normal porn. If you Google porn,
I'm sure there'll be something for you. There'll be something out there that you enjoy.
I'm sure.
Yeah,
there'll be something for you that comes up. First search result, right there. Just watch it. It's fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I don't know. It's not been the first time that the BBC has made fuck ups. So is it? I mean, obviously Jimmy Savile. Then they do all sorts of fucked up shit. Do you remember when? Who was it? Who was it? It was. Do you remember they put a picture up of that politician?
Yeah.
Was it? What was his name? Hang on, I need to Google it.
Picture of a politician.
They put a picture of a politician up.
Yeah.
And they were just like, such and such has become. I think it was like, the Chancellor. Hang on. Sorry, everyone. They put a picture of
George Osborne?
No, Kwasi Kwarteng.
Oh yeah,
Do you remember? And he had to tweet back and be like, "That's not me."
No, I don't remember that.
Yeah.
Fucking hell!
Yeah,
Someone
man.
must have got fired that day.
Yeah,
surely.
So he was Chancellor of the Exchequer, and they kind of announced it, and then they put a picture up of someone, and he's just like, "That's not me."
Oh my god! You know, when you like slightly fuck up at work. Imagine if you like fuck up that publicly.
Yeah,
it must be the most humiliating thing.
I think it was intentional.
Really?
Of course, man. Of course, it's the BBC. How difficult is it? Because okay, let's actually think
No, the
about
BBC
this.
are impartial. They don't intentionally fuck up. Like they don't.
Bro. A public person, a politician, became the Chancellor of the Exchequer in the UK. Yeah. Obviously, before that kind of article is going to get published, that's going to be reviewed by people, right, and shown to like the head editor or whatever before being signed off, right? This person has been on TV. He'd been filmed by the BBC before as being in like Parliament. And it's really not that difficult to find a photo of him. You're telling me it wasn't intentional, that they got the wrong photo?
What would be their motive to do that though?
Bro, I think it's just institutional racism.
Really?
Okay, it's a broad statement, but
That's
it's a wild statement to make. But yeah,
just to be racist for the sake of it. Surely they wouldn't put their
no, I
reputation
think there was
on that.
all they did was apologise. The thing is, what's going to happen? You can't just like tear down the BBC.
No, you can't. It's
Do you
too.
see what I'm
It's
saying?
too ingrained in
The
the
BBC
UK culture.
could get away with so much, and the public would just kind of accept it, because ultimately, I don't know what the stat is, but I'm sure the majority of the UK gets their news from
BBC.
the BBC.
Yeah, yeah. It's you mentioned Jimmy Savile earlier.
Mm.
Do you ever like look at like I'm sure you've seen like the documentary, you've seen like the Louis Theroux stuff. Do you ever just like look at him and you like watch videos of him and you think, how the fuck did no one know?
Yeah.
Look at him.
Look at him.
Like, I know people say, oh, it's easy to say in hindsight. No. Look at like that guy just look at the way he dresses, his vibe, the way he like, it just oozes creepiness.
Yeah,
like,
but didn't Louis Theroux kind of have a
hunch that he was, because
did.
I think when he did that documentary, I think it was early noughties.
Who is Jimmy Savile?
Who is Jimmy Savile? I think there's a lot of allegations at the time, but nothing like concrete. And I think, yeah, he kind of alludes in his documentary that like, we'll never know all the truth, but he definitely like points out some slightly questionable stuff.
Well, bro, even some of the responses of Jimmy Savile to some of Louis Theroux's questions were so like ambiguous. Like when he asked, like, "Why don't you have a girlfriend?" and he's just like, "Oh, I've got lots of young ladies." And it's just like,
God!
Well,
how did you not know?
Yeah,
bro?
that's a weird. Like, what the fuck, man?
Yeah,
he's a creepy guy.
Creepy guy.
And you hear some of the horrible stories. Yeah.
It's
just yeah. I don't know. The BBC, you're done fucked up.
But you I don't know. You would just think like, at this point in time, with this many like scandals that have come out, just
how do you crack down on it? I think Jimmy Savile.
It's more obviously. It's really hard for the BBC to crack. Like, how the BBC aren't going to know what fucking is going on in Hugh Edwards' private life. There's actually nothing they can do. I think it's the BBC. It's more just like personal responsibility of like, why are you doing this? Like, why? Like, is it the fame? Is it like what people like love you and you think you could just like take advantage of that? Like, what is the?
Oh, I don't know, man.
It's hard to know, isn't it?
Well, yeah,
you hear so many cases of this. It's just like, what the fuck,
Yeah, I really don't. I don't know what motivates. This kind like
behavior.
People to do that. I guess we just can't understand because we're just not inclined.
Because we're not nonces.
Yeah, because we're not nonces. But I'd love for there to be a time where we don't have a nonce to talk about.
I know, it feels like every 5 episodes there's a nonce.
There's always a nonce lurking.
Yeah, around the corner.
We've
not even got into the whole Kevin Spacey like legal battle that's going on at the moment.
Yeah, we didn't even talk about that.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, he's just a predator and we're just finding out more and more stories about him. But yeah, it's just there's so many, man.
Yeah, it's just horrible kind of, hearing about this abuse of power. Who was that producer who did like all the Nickelodeon shows like iCarly and stuff?
Is he a nonce?
Do you know what I'm talking about?
No, I'm not.
Bro, there's some like nonce and iCarly who used to make
Really?
all the staff members feel super uncomfortable.
Fuck.
Find him one sec.
There was the guy in Rick and Morty as well.
Go on.
Do you not remember the Rick and Morty voice actor? I can't remember his name now.
Oh my god, yes, I do. I do. I don't know his name, but I know what you're talking about. Yeah, he ended up having a lot of allegations. He's been kicked off of Adult Swim, right?
Justin Roiland.
It was Dan Schneider.
Oh yeah. I don't know. I don't know why I said that.
He had a bunch of controversy from it, like
Jesus,
being uncomfortable and being a bit of a.
Do you remember Noel Clarke?
No.
When he wasn't a nonce, but he was like predatory. But do you remember Noel Clarke? He was the guy in Kidulthood, Adulthood. He did a film called Bulletproof with Ashley Walters. You
Okay.
recognise him? Let me.
Oh, you meant you? I think we've spoken about this before.
This guy, if you recognise him.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. So he turns out like he was like really predatory on set. Like they'd film like naked scenes that were never used in the cut, just literally to take advantage of people. And I remember I was working at Sky at the time, and this was the big hit show was Bulletproof, with him and Ashley Walters from Top Boy, and he got fired. Right, obviously, like immediately they got fired, but we had to like remove all like because he was everywhere. He was on billboards. He was on like the product. He was like. His face was everywhere. I mean, it was literally like within like 12 hours, I had to like remove him off everything completely.
That's wild.
But yeah, now he's just not worked since. But
Then there was that guy in Squid Games.
who's that?
The old man.
He was a nonce as well.
He was, or kind
Really?
of predatory.
Fucking
Sexual
hell.
assault and
On the
stuff.
set of Squid Game or
I'm
just
not sure
in
if
the
it was on the
past?
set, but yeah.
I didn't hear about that
Yeah,
one.
man. You know,
That's so interesting.
just stop it.
Just stop it, yeah.
There's no like, do you know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
just honestly, but yeah, as I said, I'd love for there to be a day where this isn't something to talk about,
To report about, yeah.
but it is what it is. I
it
mean,
is
like,
what it is.
yeah. But yeah, man, cool. Well, let's move on to some nicer stuff.
On slightly cheerer topics. So, Sarah, have you went to the cinema recently?
Oh my gosh, yes, I did.
Talk
Thank
to
you
me.
for that, bro. So, if you know me, you know I love a horror movie. You know I love a horror movie. I used to be so shit scared of like anything to do with horror ever. Horror stories, horror movies, like everything used to just set me off. I used to be terrified when I was like a kid, and then I don't know. I think as I got older, I was like, "Fuck this! I'm just gonna
Just dive in.
dive in, like do the opposite, and just like watch all this stuff." I got super into them. I love the adrenaline of like watching a film and jumping.
Great. I love it.
It's
Honestly,
great, isn't it?
Because a lot of, I'd say most people I speak to, I say, do you like horror films? I say, no, hate them.
Yeah.
I don't see the point of being scared. But like, all films, the whole point of a film is to make you feel something, right? And that might not be happiness. That might be sadness.
Yeah.
Or there might be adrenaline from like a really good action film. And being scared is just another one of those emotions. And if you can make someone fucking shit scared, then that's a good film.
Yeah,
That's a good film, and it's done as well. And I don't think horror genre gets enough credit for how like hard it is to make someone scared.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean? Like not even just not jump scares. That's pretty easy, but like to actually make someone feel like uncomfortable and like literally scared to go to the fucking toilet. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, it's hard to do.
and there have been some films that have definitely done that for me. There's been some where I've kind of, I'll probably struggled to sleep a little bit that first night, just because it's like,
Yeah,
Yeah,
For me, do you know what always fucks me up?
fun.
It's like, you know, when you go to brush your teeth after like you've just watched a film, and like you spit your toothpaste out.
Are you
and
scared to look
I'm
in the
like,
mirror?
I'm all going up. I'm like, someone's gonna be behind me, I'm gonna fucking die.
Yeah.
I hate that.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
for me, I don't know. It could be anything, but yeah, I'm just a little bit uneasy. Like, just want to check to make sure nothing's lurking
Yeah.
behind the door or whatever. But yeah, anyway, dived in. I went to go see Insidious. So here's the thing. Firstly, when you go see a horror film in cinema, it's just like a completely different experience to when you're watching it at home. Because usually at home, you probably might be with people and you're talking through it or whatever. It's not as isolated. But I think in the cinema, you're quite isolated. And like the music's so loud. You've got the surround sound as well. So the effects of something being behind you kind of really feels quite
Fucks you up.
real.
Yeah.
Which is great. And yet it's like pitch black in the cinema as well. But yeah, went to go see Insidious. What is it? Number 5? Number 6?
I just googled how many Insidious films are there,
Bro,
and
there's
there's
so many.
fucking 5 of
There's
them.
5 of them.
I thought there was only like 3.
I don't think I've seen all of them. I know I've seen the first one. I think I've seen the
So
second
there's Insidious 1, Chapter 2, Chapter 3. Then they dropped the chapters and they said Insidious the Last Key, and then the last one's Insidious the Red Door.
one. This is the last one.
Is it the last one?
Yeah. It must be.
They can't milk this
No.
franchise any longer.
It rounded off quite like well.
Okay.
It wasn't like there was something else.
There wasn't like, you know how like a lot of horror films end with like a big scare at the end, being like,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
good luck going to sleep.
Yeah. No.
Was it like a final? That's it.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And the jump scares were sick.
Really,
They were so good.
unpopular opinion. Fucking love a jump scare.
Yeah, I love a jump
fucking love them.
scare.
If it makes me shit myself, brilliant.
I love a
it on,
jump
bring it
scare,
on.
bro. But yeah, it was so in that sense it was good. Like the jump scares were really good. The thing is like a lot of the characters are the same. So like all the demons or whatever you want to call them from the further, they're the same. So when okay, here's the thing about horror films: they're scary up until about usually around the last 20 minutes,
Completely
because
agree,
then you start seeing everything.
Yeah.
And then it's like this final like battle or whatever,
And it almost goes into like the sci-fi fantasy realm and not horror, and you're
Yeah,
just it loses
so
you. at
that's
that
not
point.
scary because I don't really care. Like, sorry to say, like realistically, main characters are going to survive.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Or like someone
you don't care about the lore of the Insidious universe.
Yeah, exactly. I don't really care like about this final battle. I'm more just like I want the jump scares. So the jump scares were really good, and it was good until the last 20 minutes. I actually thought it was okay. I thought the storyline was like okay.
Okay.
I thought it was quite nice. It tied in very well to the first one.
Isn't it the kid from the first one who's grown up?
He's grown up.
Is it same actor as well?
Yeah.
Really?
So basically, I'll say it without the crux of it. So if
Yeah.
you've seen the first one, you basically know it's about this kid, and he goes to sleep, and he's in a coma, and they go to the doctors, and the doctor's like, we don't know what the fuck's wrong with him and why he's in this coma. But it transpires that he has this ability. I forgot what's it called? Do you mind googling it?
Yeah,
quickly?
cool.
Just type in this kid, the Insidious kid's supernatural ability. Really quickly. It's called.
He's a medium.
No. He's not a medium. It's called something.
Oh, astral.
Yeah, he's an astral projector.
Astral projector. Yeah,
He's an astral
yeah.
projector. So yeah. So basically, when he goes to sleep, what will happen is that he's an astral projector. So he's able to kind of see into, essentially a different dimension and go into something called the further. Right?
Okay.
In what happens in Insidious 1 is he sleeps, he goes into the further, and he gets lost. He can't find his body. So his mental subconscious has got lost in the further, and he can't get back to his body. He's trapped somewhere. As it turns out, he inherited this from his father, who I forgot the actor's name, but he's in a lot of horror films. I think
Patrick Wilson.
He's in The Conjurings as well.
Is he the main character in this film? Basically, yeah. He's in fucking
All
any
the
horror film. Patrick Wilson's there.
Yeah.
Also, I've just read now he fucking directed that film. Shit, he directed
Of course
it.
he did.
Do you know what? Patrick Wilson, he's damn watchable. He's so damn watchable.
When I see him in a film, I'm like, this is going to be a good horror film.
It's like, as soon as you see his big face, you're just like, man, it's going to be a banger.
Yes,
I love Patrick Wilson.
Facts, honestly. But yeah, so as it transpires, he inherits this what's it called? Astral projection from his father. They got a medium to come in. The medium's like, yeah, he's gone into the further. The dad then has to go in. He has to astral project. He has to go find his son, collect him, bring him back to his body, which he successfully does. However, this was also traumatizing that the beginning of this final film begins where they're basically being hypnotized to forget that happened at all, right? To forget that this kid went into the coma, to forget that they can astral project, to forget everything. Fast forward like 11 years or whatever it is, kid's gone to college, and he's like falling out with the dad. Dad's like divorced from separated.
Classic.
Classic. Kind of reason why is because he's just like so fucked up and everything's really foggy in his brain. And then they basically start kind of going into the further again.
We've got to go back to the further.
But they don't know what it is.
Right.
And then it's kind of develops from there.
Okay,
interesting. Yeah. It develops from there. But there's like other characters, and you actually get quite invested in the storyline. Obviously, it ends terribly because here's the thing. Again, it's like the way they
do not end well.
Yeah, like the way they defeat, like or like don't defeat. But in horror films, that was such a spoiler. Sorry.
I'm sure people aren't that upset. You've
fine.
Spoiled Insidious, the Red Door.
But like, they've got this final battle at the end. And it doesn't make sense. They don't do anything physical. They kind of just run away from them. And it's like, I feel like they don't actually ever face the demons. Like, they don't ever try and fight them.
They just run from it.
Yeah, and it's like, but if you're in the supernatural realms, surely these demons, like, they can fuck you up. Do you know what I mean? Like, if they're, do you know what I'm saying?
It's their hood. You know? Like,
exactly. I don't feel like they're just going to come book you out a little bit.
Yeah.
Actually, they'll fucking kill you if they want to. Like,
yeah, I feel like as soon as I think it's that weird thing, right, where like horror is most effective because people naturally are scared of the unknown, and it's what you don't see that's the scary part.
Yeah.
Right? Like I remember There's a film called Signs. I don't know if you've seen Signs about like aliens and stuff. One of the scariest scenes was where like they're watching like camera footage and you just see like slightly blurred in the distance this alien just walk through and it's fucking shit scary. But like as soon as you see like these creatures or like, you know, ghosts or demons, whatever, like just in person and they're like all CGI and they're running about, it just loses you completely.
Yeah, for sure.
And you're so right, like horror films up until the last 20 minutes are always so good and then they just drop off.
Yeah, exactly. What was that? There's a film that's supposed to be really scary, Blair Witch Project, and I think the reason why is because they do that really well. They create this fear of the unknown where you just see.
That's why that film was so like groundbreaking that everyone just loved it, because it was like the camera's doing this. Camera's doing this. You see fuck all, you know?
Yeah. Have you seen it?
Like when I was like 12.
Was it scary?
Yeah, fuck me up. Fuck me up big time. Yeah, I saw it with my mate John. Do you know what? I feel like if I watched it now, it would be like okay, because I feel like the sort of found footage genre has like been done to death now.
Yeah.
But at the time, I was like, yo, this is I'm not never going camping again.
Yeah. We should watch it. Let's watch it and review.
Let's do it.
But yeah, bro, sorry, just really quickly. I know you mentioned you went to go see Scream.
Oh yes, yeah. So did you? I feel like you spoke about Scream 6. Yeah, like a few episodes, like 10 episodes ago. So,
what's your opinion?
Okay, I'll give you my sort of thoughts of like Scream franchise as a whole. I think they're really fucking fun.
Yeah.
And like, don't get me wrong, they're not going to win any Oscars. They're not like groundbreaking. They're not really that scary either. They're a bit like, oh, a bit of a jump scare. But other than that, they're not. They're more like thrillers and like whodunit thrillers, basically.
Yeah.
But like with a bit of tongue in cheek and a bit of a wink at the, because it kind of knows it's a film. And I love like with each installment, it kind of takes the piss out of like what it is. So like the first Scream, you know, takes the piss out of horror films. It's aware it's a horror film. It's aware of the tropes of the slasher genre. The second one is almost poking fun at like sequels and the rules of sequels. Like the fourth one, who, you know, the detective person in it, she's called like Kirby, the one who gets shot. She was the main character in the fourth one. That takes the piss out of like reboots and like, you know, the rules of reboots. And then the more recent Scream films like 5 and 6 have been like poking fun of like, you know, the Hollywood trend now of like farming nostalgia and like bringing old legacy characters back and to make money. I love how self-aware it is. It's so good.
Well, like when they brought back like Courtney Cox.
Yeah, exactly.
Came on, everyone in the cinema started cracking up.
Really?
Yeah.
Mate, she, honestly, sorry, side note.
Yeah.
I've never seen so much Botox in someone's face in my life. She literally
terrible. Yeah. She was awful, man.
But yeah, do you know what? I fucking loved it. And I was like, I didn't love it. I thought like, it was a bit silly at times. Some of the dialogue was a bit cheesy. Some of the acting was a bit shit. But I thought like, I definitely didn't guess it was going to be the killer. I don't want to spoil it for people.
Oh, I forgot who it was.
It was the dad.
Oh yeah.
It was the dad and the two kids, and I was like, didn't see that coming.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I also thought this one was way more brutal than the previous Scream film.
You?
Dude, stabbing people in the face, in the mouth.
Yeah.
Like it was even like the protagonists were getting involved in like just shanking people in their head.
Oh my god.
It was rough. But you know what? I had a good time. It was great.
Nah. What is it? I just remember pissing myself through that film, even at the beginning. So you know you've got the initial Scream guy who's that like that Indian character, and he's like initially it, and then like
that was was an incredible like subverting expectations, because every Scream film starts with like Ghostface calling the victim being killed, and then this one you see that, and then the killer gets killed. I thought that was really clever. Yeah, I thought
so.
It was sick.
That first Ghostface, you know that he then dies.
Yeah.
So this is the bit that cracks me up. So he then dies, and then it comes in the news that he's dead, right? And then some like the girls who like live in the same building as him, they see him on TV. They're like, "What? Isn't that Chode from who lived downstairs?" And it's like that guy just died. Can you imagine? Like,
I didn't even clock that. That is so peak.
Pissing ourselves. We're like, imagine you found out someone just died, and your response is, "Isn't it that Chode who lives downstairs?"
Has been found murdered in his apartment. Oh yeah, that fucking dickhead.
Yeah. Honestly, that was so funny. It just the word Chode is so funny. But no. Bring on more horror films. I like.
Mate, you have to see Barbarian.
Okay, fine.
You would like. It's on Disney Plus.
All right.
And it's like, it's almost like two films in one. And like the first half is like some of the scariest shit I've ever seen. And the second half, it just goes in a complete different direction where you weren't expecting it. And like, It's funny as well,
Mm.
bro. You'll love it.
All right.
Watch it before next week. We'll chat about it. It's so fucking good.
Scariest horror film in your opinion?
Ooh, scariest horror film. Okay, it's hard to know whether it's scary because of the place and the age that you watched it at. I don't know if now if I watched it I'd be as scared. The one that really shat me up was called The Descent.
Okay.
Right, this film is slept on. No one talks about this film. It's basically about these. You got the protagonist whose like family have been killed in a car accident, and then they all decide to go caving. Right, and it's in America, set in America somewhere. They go caving like really far down, and apparently this cave has been like people have done this route before, and they go down there. The entrance collapses, right, and they're locked in, and then they basically find out that no one's ever been down this cave before. And then they're going through and they start seeing like weird things as if someone's been living down there. And then like these weird creatures like start coming out. And it's like, if you get any, I get a bit claustrophobic. It preys on that massively, right? So you've got that aspect. And then these fucking creatures that are like killing them. And it's like, mate, it's so scary. It's so scary. Because it's like, and I to this day, I'll never go caving ever.
Yeah.
Never.
I'll never go caving either.
Never, dude. Like they're crawling through these little like small gaps, and like it's fucked. It's brutal as well. But yeah, that's probably the scariest one. What's your one?
All right, cool. I'll watch it. I think it's probably Sinister.
Oh yeah, Sinister.
I think Sinister is really.
Yeah.
I actually think it's probably one of the better horror films I've seen.
That is good.
I think it's proper scary. That is.
That's also one that sort of preys on the whole like fear of the unknown a little bit. Like you sort of see like a glimpse of something in like the video footage. You're like, did I see something or did I not?
Yeah.
Mate,
And then it's like I just thought the way in which it was kind of all built out, like you need to go find out what like the symbol is, and then you find out, and it's like this ancient thing, Bagul, that's been like living in photos and stuff. And it's
mate.
like, yeah.
I'm actually remembering that film. Like, that was a scary. Yeah.
It's a proper scary film. The way it's like done as well, that he's kind of uncovering like his own version of like the next chapter of the story. Like, do you know what I mean? The next sequence of events. Like it's like,
oh mate,
it's good. It's good. It's I thought that was I think that's a really good horror film as well.
So do you know what this chat's made me want to like watch more.
Yeah.
I'll get back into.
I'm into them.
I went through a phase where I was so into horror films. Like when I was like in my teenage years, it was always just fun to like have mates over, get dummies, and like just watch horror films. But I just sort of, I feel like there's so many shit ones that like I just don't get as excited about them anymore. But yeah, maybe I should get back into them.
Yeah, for sure.
Also, the Conjuring films, so many of them.
Yeah,
you know, there's like
seen all of them.
I saw a trailer the other day for The Nun 2.
No, let's go watch it.
Two spin-offs of The Conjuring. Like it's mad.
Let's go watch it.
Let's do it.
Yeah. I do want to go to the house. So you know the Annabelle doll?
There's a house.
It's real.
Fuck off.
The Annabelle dolls. You know they're based on well, I don't know about all of them. Conjuring number one. It's based on a true. It's based on a true story. It's based on a true story. And the Annabelle doll is not as creepy in real life.
Oh really?
No.
But people have reported like weird.
Bro, apparently there was like people. Yes, apparently it's one of the most. So it's in the museum. I forgot the name of the people who the what they called the ghost catchers or whatever.
Oh yeah.
It's like John Mary or something.
The ghost catchers. I know what you mean though.
Ed and Lorraine Warren.
Oh yeah.
They're real, and they've got a museum of all of the haunted stuff.
Oh yeah, I remember that from the films. Yeah.
And this one, it's real. And
you can go to that museum.
You can actually go. It's in the US, and this Annabelle doll is locked up in a box, right? And it literally says like, "Do not touch." There's a cross over it and stuff. Shit. Apparently, it is the most possessed thing in their museum. When they need to either touch it or move it or whatever, they have to get a priest to come.
Jesus.
They get the room like blessed like once a week or once a month or something by a priest. But this doll in particular, apparently, like people who have touched it have like got fucked up. So there was one instance where I think a guy and his girlfriend came and they didn't believe it was haunted.
Yeah.
Started knocking on the glass or something, but they were taunting it. Drove home. I think it was on a motorcycle, but drove home and died. Got into a crash and died.
Fuck.
Now, obviously,
they could
that could be
normally.
a coincidence.
Yeah.
But it's a bit like the same as, you know, during the making of The Exorcist.
Fucking everywhere.
How like so many people died.
Yeah.
That's weird. because that
That
is
is
a
weird.
weird coincidence to
Mm.
happen. I think that's one of the reasons I'm so excited about horror films.
Because there's a slight chance it could be real.
yeah, there is,
Yeah.
and I don't believe in that stuff. I'm the kind of person who always says, you know, I wouldn't believe it unless I see it. I don't particularly want to see it because I do think that would fuck me up. But equally, part of me hears these stories and they excite me a little bit. It's
You're
like,
like,
is
"Ooh,
there
something out
something
there."
that kind of
Yeah.
is there some truth?
So do you lean more on the side of I don't believe in that? I don't think this is real.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely, I do. I do. But I couldn't say it with 100% certainty.
Yeah.
I couldn't. I don't.
There's
you
always
know,
a chance, isn't there?
I couldn't. Yeah, and especially it's more when you hear stories about this. But yeah, I'd really like to go to visit that museum one day. But I would be
Sick.
terrified.
Be so scary.
Yeah, yeah. Look, when the podcast blows, I know we've made a lot of plans, but
We'll
I
go.
think that's one that we should do.
We'll go.
We should watch all of the Conjuring films
And the
then-
spin-offs.
and the spin-offs, and then go to the museum.
I'd love that.
Yeah.
Find little Easter eggs.
Or do we go to the museum first and then watch all the Conjuring films?
Oh shit! And we'd be like, oh fuck, I touched that one.
Yeah, that could be.
Oh, that's the doll.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
the doll I was playing with.
that could be scary.
Fuck, dude.
But yeah, no, there you go.
Mate,
Well,
let's
you
do
know.
it.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah,
do
yeah,
it.
Let's do it.
Love it.
But yeah, man. We got anything else that was burning?
I wanted to quickly talk about something.
Go on.
So, sorry, on the topic of like films and stuff.
Mm.
So, you know, I talked last week about Indiana Jones like bombing.
Yeah.
Like it made 60 million, had a budget of 300 million.
Yeah.
So I saw like a really interesting article which basically saying that like the last like 2 months has just been like box office bomb after box office bomb. So like The Flash, which also came out, this was going to be like DC's. This was supposed to be DC's like Avengers. It was going to make so much. It was going to be their big money maker of the year, right? Opens 57 million with a budget of rumored between 300 and 400 million.
Yeah.
Like, and it's made that much on its opening weekend. And apparently now, I've just read recently, it's been declared as the biggest superhero box office flop of all time. And like, I'm wondering, is this a new trend where like people are these films not good enough, or is it people just don't want to go to the cinema anymore?
I saw something similar on this about how Hollywood is basically bombing at the moment, as you said. And it might have been the same article, to be honest, Rory, but the thing I saw said that, firstly, it's like viewing habits have changed. If you compare like lower... AC, yeah.
Is that right? Sweating
If
buckets
you
here.
compare like the less kind of conventional stuff, like Spider-Man did really, really well, right? I think that blew...
Oh, yeah, that did really well.
Yeah.
Over $1 billion.
Yeah, and that like blew...
Oh, sorry, Spider-Verse.
Spider-Verse, sorry.
Oh, yeah, that's done. It's not made $1 billion yet,
No,
but
no.
it probably will do. It's done
and,
really,
and
really
it
well.
did
Yeah.
way better than like all the
And a way
Hollywood
lesser
films.
budget than these films. 100 million.
Yeah.
It's made like
Yeah, there you go. I think a lot of it comes down to, or what there was speculation of, is that just like viewers have got so much choice, so you need to be able to captivate all of them. I don't know. I think the cinema is still a really fun experience.
It still is fun, but I think like my theory is that people are more in tuned into like how good a film is, whereas before like people would, you know, you might read in a magazine how many stars a film got, but people are still going to watch it because there's no other way to watch it. So, but I think like people now, you see on social media, Indiana Jones is not like, reviewed very well, or apparently The Flash is really bad. So like people are now like more, because going to the cinema is so expensive, people are way more selective with what they go to watch. So then when it comes out with like Across the Spider-Verse and everyone's like, you have to fucking watch this film, you're going to go because you don't want that fear of missing out. I think that might be it. Also, the other thing I think, right, which is why I think, you know, Pixar. So one of the films I didn't mention earlier was Elemental. Have you heard of Elemental? So that's the new Pixar film. I hadn't heard of it until about a couple of weeks ago. That's also massively flopped. I think the reason is because these films come out, especially Disney, right? These like Marvel or Pixar or Star Wars, they come out a month later. They're on streaming services. Like it was like a month, and it's like after COVID, you released so many of these films like Soul and you know like Black Widow, all of these straight onto streaming, and people have sort of got used to that now. They kind of expect these big budget blockbusters to go straight onto streaming, and now it's like now they're just in cinemas. It's like, oh, I can't be asked now.
So, here's my prediction.
Go on.
For, and I don't know, because maybe you'll be able to tell me more about this just from your experience of films.
Go on.
But my prediction is that given, yes, there's a change in habits of people not wanting to go to the cinema as much because they've got so much choice at home, is that Netflix and other streaming services are going to introduce a new service called their box office service, where viewers will be able to pay pay-per-view for latest release films, and it stops people from having to go to the cinema.
They already did that.
Oh.
In COVID.
Oh, they did do that.
They did. It was called Day and Date. So it was like they had it in. This is around 2020, 2021. They'd have like off the top of my head like the Wonder Woman 1984 that came out in cinemas. Also on the same day came out on HBO Max, right? And this was like one of the biggest scandals in Hollywood at the time. So Warner Brothers, who own HBO Max, out of nowhere, right? They released this big campaign saying we're going to releasing all these films on the same day they come out in cinema. They're going to be on HBO Max. All of the directors, the producers, they didn't tell them anything. They just announced this out of nowhere, and loads of like Christopher Nolan said, "I'm never working with Warner Brothers ever again after this." So after Tenet, he walked, and now he's not going to work with them again. And now like Warner Brothers is like still to this day trying to regain their reputation after what they like the shit they pulled. Because ultimately, if you're a filmmaker, you're working 2 years on a film, you're going to want to you want it to be a big screen experience. And yeah, like all it does. And I think they had enough years of COVID doing that. They realize actually you're just cannibalizing the two, and you're not actually making like releasing cinema then streaming is the way to make the most money, and doing both at the same time doesn't make them as much money.
Fair enough.
Yeah, but
Fair
they did try that, but it didn't really work.
Yeah,
sorry. I like it. I love it though. Sorry. Oh, Sarav.
Yeah, fine, fair. This is why.
Fuck you then.
This is why you're the film expert.
Film geek.
Yeah, exactly. But no, fair enough, man. But look, on that note, there was I did mention this to you before we started, but there's a new game I want to introduce as one of the segments. So hopefully we can look to do this every week going forward, and maybe with different things. But right, so it's just a game, and we'll start with this first. So let's go back to back. And yeah, let's go back to back and name as many musical artists we can, beginning with the letter
both do it.
A. Yeah, you go first.
H.
Arctic Monkeys.
ABBA.
Alice Cooper. I've got more.
AC/DC.
Anderson .Paak.
Akon.
Amy Winehouse.
Adele. He's choking.
I am.
He's choking. It's fucking hard, man.
Yeah.
He's done.
No,
he's done. He's done.
I'm not done. There's a guy, pretty small, called Amir. I think. I'm joking. There is. Yeah.
Have you made that up?
No. I'll show you after.
ICARLY.
Fuck you. Isn't there someone called like Ace? Like it's spelled like ACEA. No, that's O. Hang on. Oh, I don't want to tap out.
You're gonna tap out. You're gonna tap
out. Give me like 5 seconds.
Done.
I'm gonna have to tap out.
Hey-oh.
I'm so disappointed. Oh, I know there's more that I've like some obvious ones that I've missed.
Should we look it up now?
Yeah, go on. If you've got any other comments if you've got any other suggestions, or we missed any blatantly obvious ones, let us know in the comments below. Next week we'll do B. And we'll
a boogie with a hoodie.
Oh, of course. Of course, there's a boogie with a hoodie.
That is so funny.
That's such a bait one.
ASAP Rocky.
Fuck. ASAP Ferg.
ASAP Mob.
Yeah, literally all of the ASAPs.
I actually don't know any of these. AC/DC, we said that, didn't we?
Yeah.
Adam Levine.
Oh,
Why the fuck is Adam Sandler there?
Yeah, he must make music.
Afrojack.
Aerosmith.
It's a hard game though.
Yeah. Okay.
There's pages of it. I keep
Anyways,
going.
yeah, there's loads, but yeah, if we missed any blatantly obvious ones, let us know in the comments. But yeah, that was a fun game. I enjoyed it actually.
I enjoyed that. We'll
Yeah,
do one
yeah,
next
yeah.
week. I'll think of one next
Yeah,
week.
same. Yeah. Okay,
Let's
cool.
do it.
But yeah, guys, this has been fun episode actually.
Good
Enjoyed
ep.
it. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
been pretty
Been
good.
horror themed actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that though.
Love that.
Maybe this is something we need to do more often. Just introduce like themes.
Random theme of episode.
Yeah.
Was it last week? Was the music? No, that was 2
episodes
weeks ago.
This
I
one's
quite like it when we
horror
end up just talking about one
Yeah,
theme.
yeah. Let's pick a theme.
No, but it's been fun. But guys, if you enjoyed the episode, please remember to subscribe on YouTube or listen to us on wherever you get your podcasts, on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts,
Google Podcasts. We're actually everywhere.
Is there Google Podcasts? Is that a
man,
thing?
we're everywhere.
Even on Google Podcasts.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you want short form content, you can find us at largerthanlife_LTL.
You said it.
Largo, Llama Tango Llama. You can find us on TikTok and you can find us on Instagram.
Yeah.
Peace, guys.
Thanks
See you
very
on the
much,
next one.
guys. Cheers.
Blood and diamonds, go on wearing